Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Down Low. I'm your host, Mike Dorezzo, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Joel Lowe. Joel, say hi.
Hello, good morning, good
Hey, good
afternoon.
morning. Good afternoon. Bienvenidos.
Yes.
Joel and I thought, it's been kind of stressful lately. Just a lot of stuff going on, and figured we'd talk about stressors of the job, stress and effects, and just talk about what causes it and what you can do to help alleviate yourself. Um, we'll start with that. So, Joel, what's going on with you, man?
Ha, what's not going on? So I felt like stress is such a huge thing right now, and it's one of the things we don't talk about within the cybersecurity realm, but it's so huge, right?
Yeah.
There's so many different effects that come in with this job, and there's so much to it, right? So you're typically not working an 8 hour day because you're always on call, right? From an incident response or something going down, you have to make sure it gets up because you can't stop the business from running.
Right.
Um, you then have to deal with more coming on your plate with less, right? So that is a typical thing that I always hear from other CISOs or managers or people within the cybersecurity is I'm expected to do so much more with nothing, right? Or
Right.
or so much less, right?
Right.
And then when the pandemic came in, all of the training budget and travel budget disappeared, right? But they didn't convert it over to help you with more FTEs or additional help or additional tools. They sucked it up and took it somewhere else, and now you're fighting to get that back, right? To make sure that your people have the training and things that they need. So it's so much stressors, right? And the cost of living has went up. You're also losing people. Now you're trying to hire and find the right people. And after a while, you start dropping balls, right? And I count myself these last 2 3 weeks from vacations and managing new projects and doing other things. I started dropping balls, and
Hmm.
I didn't like it. I was like, how am I missing these things? Because I got so many other things that are going on. So how do you manage that? Right?
Mhm.
How do you get around that? And then the effects of that, right? How do you manage that stress? Because we're all going to deal with stress. Now the question is, what do you do? What is your outlet? Right? And what we're seeing within the industry is a lot of people are moving to they're having drinking issues, right? And that
Mhm.
comes from the job and different events and things that we do. They're getting divorces, right? Or having marital issues. They're having heart disease, and I mean, there's a few others that you threw in there as well. So figuring out how we manage this, right, and understand that there is a problem, we have to identify it, right?
Right.
Um, so I mean, what is your thoughts on
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, to your point, uh, you know, writing down the problem and identifying it is 50% of the issue, right? And
right?
it's not something we should walk away from, right? It's something we need to talk about. We need to address. Um, Unfortunately, it's still a male dominated environment, right?
Right,
And
right,
if even as a male, as a woman, there's no way you can be like, oh, I'm overstressed. Like, you're gonna get it. You're gonna hear about it. As a
right,
guy, you can't say it either. You can't be like, hey, there's a lot going on. I need to pull back a little bit. You're like, no, you need to push the hammer down even more. You need to do. Are you not watching the news? You need to do more.
right.
And part of that is sensationalism, right? It is. I hate to say it, and I'm a big fan of media just as an outlet for understanding effects and events of the world today. But it really is sensationalism. Now
Mhm.
there are real threats, right? As we talk
Right.
about cybercrime and ransomware and state threat
Mhm.
actors and things like that. I'm in the healthcare industry, so we are we're almost always under attack in the
Right.
healthcare industry um, as a whole. But it's always going to be that way. That's just part of the job. So and you never want to raise your hand and go, "I'm I'm not doing so great," because you don't want people to be like, "Well, you just can't handle it. You're just
Right.
not up for it." And you're like, "No, I am. I'm just taking on too much." So I
Y
absolutely agree with you.
you know what's so sad is, I heard somebody compare it to if you had broke your arm,
Hmm.
right, and you came into work, it was like, "I can't do as much," right? Or my leg, I can't move around as much.
Hmm.
We all would be like, okay, we understand that. That's not a problem. We would never criticize you to be like, I can't believe he can't get to, this meeting because his broke leg. Like, come
Right.
on. Like we,
Right.
we would never criticize that. We would all be like, hey, we'll just zoom in, Skype, we get it, take your time, heal up and whatnot. And that's the way we should look at mental health, right?
Yeah.
And it's that serious, right? When
Right.
somebody says they need a break or it's a lot on their plate, we should look at it as if it was a broken leg or a broken arm, right? With that compassion of, okay, let's figure it out, versus it always being a negative of, well, maybe you're not in the right position, right? maybe
Right.
maybe this isn't the right company for you, right?
Right.
And you would never say that if it was because of a broken leg. You would say, well, because you can't make it to all the meetings, maybe this isn't the right company for you because we got a big campus, right?
Right.
You just wouldn't. You would give them their 8 to 6 weeks to heal, right? And then come in. And that's what we as professionals need to do. We have to
Mm.
make sure that, one, we're checking on our people. And if they say they're having issues, how do we help them?
Yeah.
Right? That's what
What?
we have employees assistant programs for, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No,
It's
and
literally
and
there to help them.
you
Go ahead.
bring up a good point, checking up on your employees, right? It's not just yourself. You should absolutely be concerned and worried about yourself. Check on your employees, right? Because it's
Mhm.
not just the job. This is something we do 40 hours or more a week. You
Mhm.
know, that's a fair amount of your time, but it's not the only thing going on in your life, right?
Right.
They may be married, they may have children,
Right.
they may have ailing parents. You're absolutely right. Check on your employees, right? Make sure you hold at least those weekly or like your direct reports should be weekly, right?
Right.
Just 30 minutes. Hey man, how you doing? Everything going okay? You running into any challenges? How are you? Right. And I do that. And I'm authentic about it, right? I mean it.
Right.
Like I really want to know, how are you doing? Right. Because it's stressful times. Like a few weeks ago, my dad got COVID, and he was away from home, several states away from where he lived, and I was like freaking out. I
Right.
didn't know what to do, and it's like, okay, well, let's find out. Are you doing okay? Is this okay? Are you all right where you are right now? And can you
Right. Right.
stay there until you get better? All right, let's. And then as he was driving home, back to the East Coast, it was like, all right, just check in with me every couple hours. If you're getting drowsy, pull over. Pull
Right.
over, get a room for the night. Just take it easy. You don't need to do everything. You don't have pets that you're worried about, or he didn't have pets, but that
Right.
was stressful on me. I told my boss about it, just like, hey, look, this is what's going on, just in case I had to leave and go drive or take a flight somewhere and pick him up and drive
Right.
drive
Right.
them the rest of when my mom, my dad, and my stepmom the rest of the way home. You just check in with your employees, right?
I,
Make
I
sure that
think
they're
too, you
doing
gotta
okay.
you gotta listen for context clues, right?
That's a good point.
And my thing is, I usually I get on my meetings early,
Hmm.
and everybody pops in. I talk with them. Hey, good
Yeah.
morning. How are you doing? How's everything? How was your weekend?
Yeah.
How's the week going for you? If it's in the middle of the week, and
Yeah.
I had one person who was always happy, right? He
Yeah.
was like, I'm making it, and it threw me
Ooh.
off. I was like, okay. So what I did was I finished the meeting, and then I
Mhm.
called him back afterwards. It's
Right.
like, hey, what's going on?
Right.
Is everything good? And he then explained to me what was going on. I was like, okay, well, let's adjust. Let's figure that out, right? I'm here for you.
Right.
He didn't feel appreciated, right? He felt like he was doing all this extra work and didn't feel it. So my thing was that he wasn't even my direct report, but I wanted to let him know that I appreciate you, right?
Yeah.
Hey, let me go through and explain to you why I appreciate you being on this project with me and helping me out. And
Yeah.
I definitely then checked up with him after that, just every now and then, just let him know, like, hey, man, I appreciate that, rock
Yeah.
star. That was
Pe-
a great meeting you just had, right?
and people need to hear that.
Right.
Let's not just belittle that. It's a small
Hmm.
thing,
Right.
but it's impactful, right? Yeah, I had something similar a few weeks ago. You could just tell the guy who's usually like
Yeah. Yeah.
was
Yeah.
just kind of there in the meeting, not really saying anything. You're like, hey man, how's this going on with this project? Yeah, it's going okay. We finished this. That's amazing. That's awesome. The
Right.
good job. It's not easy to
Right.
get stuff done,
Mm-mm.
and during vacation, and everybody's on vacation and things like that. And he was like, and I said, listen, man, you're a rock star. That's a fantastic job. You really
Yep.
are. That's an awesome job. And I said it in front of everybody.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
afterwards I called him back, and he was like, I really needed to hear that. He was
Right.
like, because I really felt, to your point, I was getting my head beat in, and I really needed to hear that. I'm like, well, you're doing a great job. It wasn't just lip
Right.
service.
Right.
Just please keep it up. We love you here. We're counting on you, because it's a simple thing just to tell somebody that you're appreciated, right? And it's cathartic for you as well, right? When you tell
Right.
somebody that you appreciate them, it does come back a little bit. I'm not trying to
Hmm.
sell it just so people go, oh, I'll just tell everybody I appreciate them.
Right.
Be
Right.
authentic about it, right? Be
Right.
responsible and authentic
Right.
about it. But it does help, connect you to that person, and
Hmm.
it's useful. And you don't know what other people are going through,
Right.
right? You don't know the demons they're fighting, the stuff that they're going through in their life.
And you just got to be mindful. Like my
Yeah,
thing is, you don't even know how the day to day of what's going on in the world is affecting people, right?
right,
There were certain things that went on that affected me more than it affected other people,
yeah,
right? Where I had to take a day and step away from work because I was just it was too much, right?
yeah,
So being mindful of how you're feeling, right? If you're feeling some kind of way, you're feeling off, it's nothing to step away. Say, hey, I
right.
need a break. I
Good.
need I need to take the rest of the day off.
Mental health day.
And your a mental health day, and your supervisor should understand that, right?
Yeah,
They should get that. And if they don't, shame on them, right? Like I said, if it was a broken arm or a broken leg, nobody would question it. And that's the way mental health has to be, right?
right.
Because it's such a stressful job. And again, we're dealing with so much with so little. I have, I think in my 15, 16 years, I think I had one person say, I have too much budget. And I remember being like, what? Like it was, everybody in the room went quiet, like, how? Like, what? He was like, yeah, they had just had a incident, of course, and they opened the floodgates and they gave him way too much money.
Hmm.
And after he implemented all the fixes, he still had way too much money. And I was just like, well, I never knew what that. I've never once been like, hey, stop with the checks. I'm good. We
Right,
don't need anything else, right? So again, out of 16 years, I think that was the first time I ever heard that. And again, it was after an incident. So anybody who knows, they usually open up the purse strings after they've been
right,
caught their hand in the cookie jar. So,
right.
which is never the way it should go, right? They should
No.
open the purse strings before then, but it doesn't seem to be that way.
Yeah.
Um, so my thing is, what are some of the reasons why within cybersecurity we have an increase of drugs and alcohol or divorces or heart attacks or DWIs, DUIs? Like, go over some of that, Mike. We talked about
Yeah.
that in the green room,
Yeah. Well, and, with stress comes potentially some unhealthy outlets for what you think
right?
will help you reduce the stress, right?
Mhm.
Maybe you have a drink every once in a while and take the edge off, and then it turns into, once a day, and then, a couple times a day, a couple drinks. And, maybe you attend, and we talked about it. We need continuing professional education credits for our certifications.
Right.
So CPEs for short. And you can attend events, you can do things like that, and that gives you 1 to 2 credits. And sometimes there's alcohol at these events, and it's okay. Just be responsible. You had a good thing, 2 drink maximum for a 2+ hour event, right? And
Mhm.
you're a big guy. Joel is like 6'11", 300 pounds. For those who've never met Joel, um,
I
I'm
feel like
five
it.
eight. I'm 5'8".
Hey,
But no, but
but but no, you're right. I mean, so my thing is, I don't do more than 2 drinks at a event, and then after that, I go with soda water in the same glass that my drink was in. So
yeah,
I'm still socializing and still feel like I'm drinking with everybody, but
right.
now I'm on to either water or soda water with a lime. Um, and to me, I always want to make sure I'm in my right mind. Right, because your
Yeah,
reputation, you're representing not only yourself and your brand, but you're representing your company as well. And with
absolutely.
today's cameras and saying the wrong things and doing the wrong things, because you can't say, well, I had too many drinks. that's that's not a good defense, right? When you're
No,
going to work and HR is like, hey, we need to talk to you about Friday when you were at this
talk
event.
about this post.
Right? Like, what were you thinking?
Saw that,
Right?
huh?
I I wasn't, right?
Right.
I'd been drinking, right? And
Right.
it's too late to throw that excuse up there.
Right.
So again, being mindful of how many you had, and then again, don't drive.
Yeah.
Uber, take a Uber,
Yeah.
even if it's
Take
an
an Uber,
expensive Uber, right?
Lyft. Yeah.
$100 is so much better than paying $10,000 or the risk of harming or hurting not only yourself but somebody else
Yeah.
because you got behind the wheel, impaired.
Yeah.
Just make smart decisions, people.
Yeah.
And again, if your company is a drug-free company, right? Don't pick one day to be like, you know what, I'm on vacation, I'm stressed out, I gave them all this stuff, I'm gonna do something silly, right?
Right.
And then when you come back into work, it's like, hey, just routine, we got to do drug tests, and you're
Random
like,
drug test for you.
they actually do that? I didn't.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Huh.
Okay.
I put that in the
Huh.
policy. I didn't think that was real.
Yeah. Okay. Now I got
It
to
is for
do
you
it,
now. Yeah.
and that's a
Yeah. No,
hard one to squirm out of. I've seen that
yeah.
happen.
Yeah. Well, and when I was a consultant, it was drug tested by clients and other organizations 3-4 times a year. So it was like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not can't even be near you if you're going to be doing
Right.
this because I can't
Right.
take a chance. I'm not
Right.
losing my career for it. Right. It is what it is, and and to your point, long term, right? There are long term effects of this cortisol. As your stress levels go up, there's a chemical in your system and in every human being called cortisol.
Hmm.
It's dangerous. High levels, it's very dangerous. Low levels, it's pretty useful, right? It drives
Right.
motivation and things like that, flight or fight. But on a long-term exposure and increased levels, it's very, very dangerous. It's heart disease, it's high cholesterol, it's diabetes, you name it. It's a pantheon of bad stuff to happen to you.
Right.
So
Right.
rising of triglycerides, because you're
Hmm.
sitting in your chair for 8+ hours a day, lack of exercise and movement kind of thing. Yeah, there are a lot of bad things out there that can happen to you, and not just cybersecurity. Like, let's be honest, this could be any job, right?
It
You
could
could, you
be
could be any
exactly
job.
correct.
But you're an air traffic controller or cybersecurity nowadays. It's pretty hard.
Right.
Um,
Right.
so what can we do
Takeaways.
about it? Yeah,
Right.
yeah. What can we do about it, Joel?
So my thing is find positive outlets, right? If it's yoga or exercising or taking a walk, take frequent breaks,
Yeah,
right? You deserve breaks. Take a break.
yeah,
Do a meeting and give you 10 minutes to, especially if you're working from home. I stay in my office so much that I have to schedule breaks for myself. You know what? I need to get up and go outside, walk for a round a second, then come back in. And it's
yeah,
okay, right?
yeah,
Um, Also understand, like, map out your day, right? So it helps you stay on track, right? So map out what you want to accomplish or what you need to do so that you're not dropping balls, so that you're staying organized. I have pretty much my day pretty much scheduled out. Hey, at this time I need to work on this project here, this time I need to call this person here, boom
yeah,
boom boom, and it helps me at the end of the day. I look back and I say, okay, I did all this, right?
yeah,
And then I spend the last 15-20 minutes mapping out tomorrow, right?
yeah,
Okay, hey, this is what I need to accomplish. And if I didn't finish it today, I roll it over to tomorrow. It's okay.
yeah. It's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah,
It's okay.
just make sure that you do the things that you're like, this is critical today.
Hmm.
You tackle that first. You start
Right.
making movement. Yeah. So I've got a whiteboard that I write notes on if I need to keep it like high level and visual. Like, this is a long term project, so it's
Right.
not something you're going to finish today or tomorrow or something like that. But it's visual and it sits up there, and I'm going, oh yeah, that's right. I gotta do that. I gotta do that. And I
Right.
do journaling, right? So I've
Okay.
got the little journal notebook, and I write in it. I type everything.
Yeah.
So for me, handwriting stuff is cathartic. It helps me remember. So going back to high school and college days, if I wrote it down, I had a better chance of remembering it. That's what I do. It's pretty useful to me, and it gets it out, right? It gets it out on paper, and it's not just like stuff you need to think about and do, but thoughts of the day, right?
Hmm.
Hey, need to be mindful of this. Need
Hmm.
to take it easy on so and so. Hey, somebody's birthday's coming up.
Hmm.
Just wish them a happy birthday. And find an outlet. Like, to your point, getting outside, you need your 15 minutes of sunshine, right? For
Hmm.
your vitamin D. It's
Right.
important in the back of your neck. Um, but yeah, just and I don't make up these medical things, by the way. I'm not a doctor, not a medical doctor,
Yeah,
but I,
you're a doctor.
I've been on the planet a little bit.
Stayed at Holiday Inn. I stayed at the
Stayed at a
Holiday Inn.
Holiday Inn Express.
I know some
Um,
things.
but yeah, find an outlet, right?
Right.
Find somebody to
Right.
share it with, right? Because maybe it's not
Hmm.
just you that needs the outlet. Maybe it's other people that need the outlet as well, right?
Right. Right.
Socializing with people, talking to people, go out to lunch, right? Like I'm a permanent remote employee now. So getting out of the house is important, right? You have to leave the house. You don't have to leave the
Right.
house every day to go to
Right.
lunch with somebody or anything else. Once a week, get out of the house, right? Make
Right.
sure you leave the house. In this day and age, you can have your groceries delivered, food delivered, Amazon, everything else. You don't have to leave the house.
Right.
But you need to leave the house. Like,
You should
you need
leave though.
you should
Right.
leave. You don't want to be the creepy guy, the guy like, I think somebody lives in that house. I've never
Yeah.
seen
They
them.
they never come outside.
Right.
Yes.
Don't be that guy. Or
Don't be that
lady.
guy.
Sandra Bullock from the net. Don't be that person.
Don't be that
Um,
person.
I do like the 2 drink minimum. I mean maximum. I think
I did that. I said
that's
minimum.
pretty
He
funny.
was like minimum. I'm like
Mhm.
maximum. Maximum.
Man, we're gonna get this party started. I got a 2 drink
Let's
minimum.
go. 2
Let's
shots
go.
right when I get in.
Dude,
Let's
clock's
go.
ticking. Let's do that. No, please don't do that. Space
No.
out your drinks. Drink water. By the way, especially in the summertime, if you're outside drinking, drink a ton of water.
Drink water. Drink
Man,
water.
yeah, it's just highly important. Joel, anything
Yes.
else you want to share? Or any other?
No, just know that we're here. I think that advice about finding somebody to kind of vent to and
Yeah,
figure out what help you out. I have me one of those, a coworker that all college was like, "What in the world?
yeah,
What are we doing with our life?" And he was like, "Yeah,
yeah.
me too." And then afterwards, be like, "Yo, let's go to tackle this day." Right. So
Right,
no matter when you're venting, always end it on a positive note. We got
right.
this. We're gonna make it. Hey, I appreciate you listening, and then you keep moving. Right.
And you
So
keep moving.
find you some affirmations, something that will motivate you. Remember why you're doing this, and don't get stressed out, right? And that's
Yeah,
easier said than done, but just learn how to manage that stress. And again, your employees assistant program is there for you, right? You can get you some counseling for free to talk with somebody, and there's nothing wrong with that.
yeah. And if you ever have any concerns, please reach out to somebody. Reach out and keep them up to date. Anyways, don't wait until something bad happens. Keep lines of communication up with your significant other, your spouse, your family members, people around you. You don't need to tell them everything.
Right, right,
You don't want to vomit of the mouth of details. Where and especially if you see people's facial expressions going to back up, turn it down.
right.
Like, I'm just kidding. Just
I just
read the
joking
room,
with you. Right.
read the
Read
room,
the
read the room.
room.
But yeah,
Right.
if you ever have thoughts or you're not feeling safe around yourself, please feel free to reach out to people. Suicide hotline is always there.
Mhm.
This is a serious time and it's a dangerous time for people
Right.
when the economy's unsure. You've got a lot of things going on, global crises in the world, gas prices are high, inflation is at risk. There's a lot going on. So please, reach out to people. And that's not just for you to tell other people what's going on in your life. Reach
Right.
out to other people as well. You had a very good point earlier, Joel. It's not always about you.
Hmm.
Sometimes it's about people that work for you and care about you and you know they rely on you as their
Right.
leadership and things like that. So definitely check
So,
in on people.
so here's the last takeaway. Know that you are wanted and needed. Right? Somebody in this world, we want you and we need you, right? So no matter how you feel, just always remember that you're wanted and you're needed.
Absolutely. Do you want to drop it? Go ahead and drop
Hey,
it.
and knowing's half the battle. GI
Thank you.
Joe.
All right, it's not going to be. We'd have to refilm the whole episode
I
if you
know,
didn't do
right?
that. You're like,
You
got
didn't
to start
say it,
over from
Joe.
scratch.
Somebody put in the
Um,
comments like, you didn't say it.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
you're
yeah.
right.
You win. You win the prize this year. The one episode we didn't say it. All right. Well, hey, hey everyone. I know it was a bit heavy and a bit deep this week, but if you like the content, please hit the like button. Please leave us a
Right, right.
comment either in LinkedIn or Facebook or YouTube.
Yep, yep.
Joel and I will get back to you, and we want to keep a good positive conversation going on. Um, if you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to IM or communicate connect with Joel and I, and we can get you the right help and listen. If you like what you heard, please hit subscribe. We try to put these
Yep.
episodes out once a week. We don't make any money. We don't get paid for this. This is kind of out of the goodness of our heart
Right.
and topics that affect us, deeply and emotionally. And, we want to share and keep our loved ones and friends and family safe. So, all right.
Yep.
Well, that's it, everyone. Have a great day.